it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Dish podcast from the Iowa State Daily. Like always, I'm Brett Twellmeyer, sports editor, and I'll be your host, and I'll have my co-hosts introduce themselves.
What's up, guys? Assistant sports editor Pavel Markovic.
Hi, I'm Katie Schaefer, sports reporter.
And I'm Ford Griffith, sports reporter.
So the season's over for Iowa State, as we've already established. The men lost in the round of 32. Women made it to the round of 64. They each went 1-1 in the NCAA tournament, though, so silver lining there. They each won a game, I guess. But now that the seasons are over, we've started the transfer portal for Iowa State. That really opened up. It hit big on the men's side, especially with the people that were leaving. There were a few names that were big that came in. On the women's side, we've had one come in so far, so we'll kind of go over those. We'll start with the men's side. Monday, day one of the transfer portal. 4 players hit the portal. I think the biggest one of those was one of the presidents, Deshaun Jackson. The other 3, those being Demarion Watson, JT Rock, Caden Fish. Kind of figured they would leave, but I was kind of caught off guard when Jackson put his name in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of I feel like it was kind of up in the air type of thing because I didn't know if he was just going to straight up be done or just stay or transfer. But, I like you said, I think it was kind of a surprise. I mean, I think he was decent in his time. I don't think he was anything to go home about. I mean, he had his moments where he was actually really good. I mean, especially the Kansas one where he came off the bench. But then, he's been decent at parts. I mean, I think it was 15 rebound game against Lipscomb, right? That was a good one. So, it was interesting to see his one and only year with Iowa State. I thought his dynamic with Joshua Jefferson worked really well, but now that he leaves, it's going to be a kind of question mark what happens kind of right there.
Right. I mean, and the front court, I think, is going to look the most different probably. I mean, obviously you've got Keyshawn Gilbert, Curtis Jones leaving in the back court, but that front court, I mean, with Deshaun Jackson leaving, you've got all those other players that we just mentioned, Watson, Rockfish, some bigger players. Chatfield leaves because of graduation, so a lot of new faces going to be in the front court, but that one constant will be Joshua Jefferson. Looking at Jefferson's going to be the one that's still there. Jackson, looking at his season, 18.7 minutes per game, 8.5 points, 5.1 rebounds, just all around, I thought he was really solid. He had some games that were definitely better than others, but I liked that Iowa State actually had a really good big this year in him, especially when it came to free throws too.
Absolutely. You even talk about block shots too. He had 37 and, offensive rebounds with 69, which is nice. So it's just kind of good to see, because we didn't know for sure if whether it was going to work out or not. And then I kind of saw maybe Chatfield starting a couple games more instead of Jackson, but luckily Jackson was able to play a key part in the starting lineup. Yeah,
so 2 years with Washington State, 1 with Charlotte, 1 with Iowa State. Now he's going to use his final year of eligibility somewhere else. So wishing him the best. I hope that he succeeds in his final year.
Absolutely. Hopefully Big Dog gets to hear more of those going elsewhere.
The second one, Demarion Watson. This one made sense to me of why he would leave, because I felt like last season we really saw what type of player Watson could be. And this was supposed to be his kind of breakout year, I thought. And that just didn't happen because Otzelberger was set with the lineup that he had with the 8-man rotation, and it worked a while. I get later on down the stretch why he chose Cade Kelderman. He wanted more of a real point guard when Keyshawn Gilbert was out. But I just wonder maybe if D. Watt had a couple more minutes, would things have played out a little bit differently?
Absolutely.
I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I think he was kind of, he didn't get enough minutes, I feel like. It's kind of one of those things because I think he was a really good player when he played. I mean, obviously, I think maybe offensively wasn't the best, but still made a key impact. And obviously defensively with his size and length, he was able to play really good defense. So I was just like you. I thought this was not really the most surprising one just because of the way he was really underutilized here. But I mean, I wish he kind of stayed longer because remember last season too when he played, he was really well, especially the Oklahoma game. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he played in 18 games this season or made appearances in 18 games, 8.9 minutes across those on average, 1.8 points, 2.3 rebounds. But the big thing to me was that he had 11 blocked shots. I think that was kind of his specialty, his go-to, the thing that he was most known for. I remember that one that he had against Kansas right before halftime, that chase down. That was probably my favorite D-Watt play of the whole season.
Absolutely. It just seemed like whenever I remember my time with D-Watt, it's either the Oklahoma game or just his chase down blocks, which was very fun to see, very electric, got the crowd really going and, carried the team.
Yeah. I think that his best performance overall, though, was the home game against UCF. In just 11 minutes, he scored 11 points and had 5 rebounds. I mean, that was an all-around really good performance from him, especially in just playing a quarter of the game, basically.
Right, and that was just even in general, the overall team. I mean, scoring 108 points is, something I'd never thought I'd see in kind of the Otzelberger era, especially against an in-conference opponent. Maybe non-conference, yeah, you could probably see them beat down on some hopeless team. But you could see now at the in-conference game, which is really fun to see, and especially with Watson having a point per minute, it was just amazing.
Yeah, so wishing D-Watt the best, obviously.
Absolutely.
But then the other two, JT Rock, Caden Fish hit the portal. JT Rock, it made sense. He was kind of behind everybody, didn't really get a whole lot of playing time. Just probably looking for more playing time is what I'm guessing he wants to go for. Caden Fish, probably same thing, just wanting more playing time. He's going to be at Ball State next year. That's already confirmed. He's committed there. I really liked his one effort play in that one play that he had in the Lipscomb game late in it. Gets the steal, goes down the court, gets the layup, gets the and one. So glad that he could have at least one good moment there with Iowa State this season, especially with the very limited amount of time he saw on the court this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish we kind of saw each of these guys, maybe somewhat down the stretch type of thing, but it's just unfortunate. I mean, TJ usually rolls with an 8-man rotation, doesn't really stray away from it. So I mean, got to see him a couple times, which is nice. But hopefully Fish succeeds at Ball State, and then wherever JT Rock goes.
Yeah. So that was on day one of the transfer portal. Then we had a couple days of not really a whole lot.
No.
Then the big news broke out that Noyes Andrusaitis hits the portal, which I thought was pretty big. I thought that he would have come back. It's probably just due to, again, that lack of playing time that he had. A lot of those guys that hit the portal were the guys that didn't see a lot of playing time this year because of the limited rotation that they ran with.
Right, and I think coming into Iowa State, this past season, I thought he'd get a lot more playing time, winning a gold medal, and especially, being a 4-star recruit. So right. I was kind of surprised to see him not really get a lot of playing time. I know the Mississippi Valley State, I think, was his most minutes per game, and obviously most points as well, but I think he just really struggled whenever he really played, at least offensively. I mean, I think he played 15 games at an average of 5.8 minutes and only averaged 2.1 points on a 33.3% field goal shooting clip, which is kind of pretty low, and then obviously 14% from three, and then 52% from the free throw, which is not very great. So I think it's just maybe something with the shooting that didn't really kind of click for No Use.
Yeah, and I feel like that also kind of plays to that limited playing time as well. It's when you're not seeing the court time. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, I guess, right? You're not seeing the court time. You're not going to score a lot. You're not going to do a lot. But at the same time, when you are on the court and you just can't make it happen, that's why you're not going to play. So I feel like it's just kind of a hand-in-hand thing. But I hope that Noyes can find success wherever he goes next. But then that same day, Eric Mulder out of Purdue Fort Wayne comes to Iowa State. Big guy, 6'8", 5.7 points, 71% field goal shooter last season, average of 19 minutes. So feels like he could be a guy that could play hand-in-hand right there with Joshua Jefferson next year.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you talk about No Use is struggling with the shooting. This guy shoots it really well, and he kind of reminds me of, like, Nate Heisey in his shooting. I mean, he doesn't take a lot of shots, but when he does take those shots, it's good shots, and you see 71% he's making them. So I really like this move. He's 6'8" also, so it's kind of giving him some room to space the floor a little bit on top of really good shooting. And heard he's a good defender, too, so that's going to be – I think it's going to all blend very well together.
There was a good rebounder too. Led Fort Wayne 6.7 boards per game. Also 0.7 blocks per game, which I think is a pretty good number. When you look at his rebounding numbers too, you think of a guy like Brant Chatfield, who I thought was pretty good on the offensive rebounding side. Maybe Mulder's going to be the same way. And like you said, defensively, sounds like he can do that too. That's
true. Yeah, I mean, just a little bit shorter frame, and still, I mean, even with the 6'8" frame, he can still kind of go out there and out rebound those taller guys. So I'm looking forward to that. Plus, he's also a native of Oskaloosa. Yeah. Come back to the state of Iowa. I heard that. I think he was a fan of the Hawkeyes growing up, but him being a Cyclone, I think it'll be better.
Yeah, he came to the right side eventually.
Absolutely. Yes.
Then a day later, Iowa State added another player, Eastern Washington guard. Mason Williams. So I'm excited for this guy. He's 6'5", an inch taller than Keyshawn and Curtis were, or are, I guess they're still that height, but nonetheless. He really shot the ball really well. He's a crafty scorer. It's not like he can shoot outside or inside. He can create plays. So I feel like he's kind of like a mesh of like the type of player that Curtis and Keyshawn both were.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, those guys blended together, I think, are really well, and especially it's shown here with Williams. I mean, I think he played, 2 years at Eastern Washington. He played decently. I mean, some numbers, freshman year wasn't really great, but, sophomore season showed a lot of improvement, and I think that improvement's going to really show him, and especially in the upper level of play, especially in the Big 12.
Right, especially the way that we know that Taman can dish the ball around. If he can find Williams in some places and he can maybe, make something out of nothing. I feel like Williams is going to be a really good scorer, a really good asset to Iowa State's backcourt this season.
Absolutely.
Then the final one that we know of that Iowa State added just a couple days ago, 6', 11" transfer from Virginia, Blake Buchanan, another president.
Yeah, I get to keep that alive. Jackson out, Buchanan in.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
I bet they will.
Yeah.
At Virginia, another Power 5 conference over there in the ACC, played in 66 games. He started in 28. This season, he started in 22 games, 5.4 points, 5.3 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1.1 blocks per game. It's really the rebounding number that sticks out to me. I think that's what Iowa State's going to need is the guys who can attack the glass like that. And obviously the points are important too, but having a guy that tall that can rebound well is probably the more important thing.
Right. And I think the most important thing for this ad is I think he's very versatile big for his size. I think he moves really well. I mean, this kind of reminds me of Brant Chaffee a little bit, kind of the same size really, and then kind of adds the same amount of production too. So I think with that plus the more versatility that he has, I think he's going to mesh really well together.
Right. And I know that a lot of people were a little skeptical about this, acquisition just because of that points number, but obviously TJ knows what he's doing, right? Like there's a reason that Buchanan started as many games as he did as a Cavalier. Knowing how Virginia plays defense, I think that can translate pretty well, knowing how Otzelberger runs his system and how Iowa State plays defense too. So I think that transition for Buchanan isn't going to be that bad, really. I think it's going to be almost seamless for him.
Absolutely. You've seen what kind of school Virginia's been, especially in college basketball this past 2 years. Right. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the upset to UMBC, but that's besides the point. But still, like, for him to start for a prestigious school like Virginia, like you said, I don't think it's going to be really that bad of a transition. I think he's going to be able to kind of pick it up where he left off.
A lot of news on the men's side. How about we throw it over to the women's side? Some big news over there.
Yeah, well, the first news that was announced was Audie and Addie both returning, which is massive, obviously. I mean,
yeah, they're our star players, so it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought it was really cool in the announcement. Audie posted the little thing that said, "The grass is greener where you water it." I think that's like, there's not a whole lot of loyalty in college basketball now with all the NIL and everything. So seeing her do that is really cool.
Yeah, it was good to see, and just everything she brings to the team, and she's such a good player. So I feel like if she didn't come back, we definitely would have fallen apart or maybe lost our rep a little bit. So I'm excited she's coming back.
For sure, absolutely. But then the first departure, Lily Hansford entered the portal. She averaged 10 minutes per game, 1 point per game. So what are your thoughts on that one, Katie?
When I heard the news, I was a little shocked at first just because I kind of forgot she was a player. Like, I don't hear her much. I don't see her much. But I'm a little sad to see her go. But, again, she didn't have many playing minutes. I felt like she didn't really bring a lot to the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when she came in this year, it felt like she had a lot of potential. She shot 45% from three for Oregon State, but then this year it's like 20%. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it works. I mean, it's not a huge loss for Iowa State.
No. She did have that great game against UCF where she scored her most points this season at 12. So after that kind of happening in the beginning of the season, I definitely thought we would see more of her. And I've noticed kind of throughout the season that when Audie and Addie or Emily are just nobody can really shoot, she's kind of a backup, and she also just can't really perform. She can't really execute. So I'm sad to see her go. She was a great player, but I feel like she just wasn't ready for Iowa State yet and the environment Iowa has for women's basketball.
For sure. I wish her well. I hope that she finds a better home for her where she can thrive. But today, Iowa State got a huge commitment with Emily Ryan graduating, one of the best point guards in Iowa State history. They got another great point guard coming in, Jada Williams from Arizona, former 5-star, former McDonald's All-American, 2-time gold medalist. Talk about her.
I know. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be so interesting to see her and Audie and Addie's dynamic. I think that's going to be really fun to see. She's definitely going to have to fill in Emily's shoes. Emily really succeeded with assists, and Jada averages 2.9 assists a game. So she's going to have to be able to feed Audie that ball and everything. But I think it's a really good step for Iowa State.
I think it'll be a really good fit. I mean, Jada averaged 12.7 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists. She's a very dynamic player. I think she'll be able to play a little fast and kind of just make it a really exciting team for Iowa State. But I mean, now there's not, like, pending anybody else leaves, like there's not really any more spots to fill. Like Iowa State had 12 people on the roster this year, and with the addition of Jada, Lily leaving, and the 2 freshmen coming in, they're already at 13. So we'll see if Fenley does anything else. But I mean, that's a great addition.
Yeah, no, the way for the roster next season is it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's going to be a great year. But I think Jada just adds a little cherry on top. She's a great little touch.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the rotation next year, you got Audie and Addie, Ariana Kelsey, that recruiting class. They're all going to be back. Kenzie Hare, back and healthy. She averaged 8 points. That'll be huge. Sydney probably going to stay in that sixth player role. Reagan and Eiley with a year under the belt. And now you get an experienced point guard who has started almost 60 games. So it's going to be crazy.
I know. And then I don't, like you said, like pretty much everybody on this team has experience, except for the 2 incoming freshmen. But I think just everybody brings something to the table now. We have a really great depth in our team, so I think it's just going to go really well.
I think the expectations at the start of the year will be close to what they were this year, if not like higher. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll be good though.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing I like most about Williams is I saw today that she said that their goal is to win a national championship. So obviously replacing Emily Ryan was kind of the biggest thing that Iowa State had to do over this offseason, and I feel like they found someone who's probably as vocal, as committed, as good of a player as she was. So I think that they really found the best gem that they could in the portal this year.
I think she's a super confident player, super confident person in general. So having someone like that coming in and willing to take over that point guard role, that floor general role, I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah. I also like that Addie and Audie are coming back. I mean, that's huge. It shows that, you can play basketball in Iowa and thrive. I mean, we saw Caitlin Clark do it. And now you've got these two with their star power. You're bringing in Williams. Iowa's got to be the place to be for women's basketball right now.
Seems like it. I mean, Audie and Addie, both of them could have been a first option at a different school if they'd wanted to. Even if one of them had left, that would have been a huge loss for Iowa State. But now both of them coming back, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting. Jada had the opportunity to go to the Hawkeyes.
Right.
And she chose us. That's saying something.
Right. I mean, among other Big 12 schools, too, like TCU and Baylor, that's a huge win for Iowa State in the portal right there.
For sure.
Early expectations, what do you guys think that this team should be able to do?
I think you go first.
Well, I think that the potential is off the charts. You look at what Iowa State lacked against Michigan. Michigan was 5 guards and could run all over them. I think Jada can push the floor a little bit. I think it's hard now to say oh, they're going to be a Sweet 16 round of 32 team, but I think preseason expectations, I could see it being just as high as this past year.
I think just how much we've seen kind of everybody grow. I think we have so much depth in different shooting areas that I think we can really exhibit a lot of potential in different areas. So I think our shooting should really increase. I think it'll be good.
Right. Yeah. And I think the transfer portal, still some players could obviously leave. Some people could still come in. But, yeah, I'd probably agree with those standards. That the expectations are definitely very high right now.
Yeah, and I love that all the sophomores pretty much from that, that class this year, they're all going to be having their junior year together. There's a ton of experience on this team. All the pieces are there that they should be able to have the year that they were expected to have this year. I think that they can definitely make another step to a plausible Sweet 16 run. I don't think that's really out of the question with the amount of talent, the experience that they have.
Yeah, and then also, not to look too far ahead, but without knowing anybody that could transfer, they basically this whole team, except for a few players, would be back the year after that too.
Right.
So basically 2 full years with next year's roster. Sky's the limit.
Yeah. I feel like if you do the same thing you did this year, good record, make the tournament, win a Big 12 tournament game, then the year after that when they're all seniors, now's go time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take this year as kind of all right, what do we need to do to prepare for everybody's ready to go, everybody's a senior. It's, I'm excited for them. I really think that they can do a whole lot of good things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The men's side, though, I feel like TJ's been excellent, and his staff has been at getting guys in the portal.
Right.
And we've seen it even in the Fred Hoiberg era. Like, before the portal was really like a big thing. He got guys from other schools. He made them great players. He made Sweet 16s. It's just a matter of, I guess, can this group do it? And I feel like they can. They've got the people that they probably need. So it's just a matter of putting the work in and doing it.
Yeah, and I also think Steve Prohm, maybe not the best head coach, but a great recruiter. Got guys like Halliburton and all that, and you see them translating into the NBA. So, but yeah, like we said with Otzelberger, obviously tremendous. Just following that path of Iowa State coaches who do well in the transfer portal, and I think it's gonna be an interesting year to say the least. I feel like they're trying to get a little bit faster, instead of trying to be like a slower team. Want to push the pace a lot, and I feel like with these new guys, especially we talked about Buchanan, Mulder, and Williams, they all seem like very versatile players who can do a lot all around the court. So I think that's gonna shape up for some great basketball. I know we could still maybe get some other players too as well.
Yeah. The one guy that Iowa State did lose out on, Clough.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that Iowa State-Purdue game now. I think that Iowa State's going to head into their place with a little bit of animosity, a little fire into their belt, and say, all right, you beat us out for this guy. We'll show you why we don't need him. So
I like to hope that. I mean, Mackey's one of the hardest places to play, and I'm not the biggest Purdue fan, to be fair. But I hope they do that. I'm hope I'm proved wrong. But like you said, I mean, not getting Clough kind of sucked. I mean, it's just kind of the money ball type of era right now,
yeah.
kind of.
I mean, that's really what college basketball is now. And
yeah,
again, back to the women's side, like, it says a lot that Addie and Audie stayed here, to be stars and faces of this team rather than chase a bag somewhere else.
Right,
Absolutely.
yeah, because, they could have gotten much more money on, like, USC, UCLA, all that. They have a lot of money to spend, and they would have thrown the bag at them. But, but I love commitment,
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the culture here.
Right.
Like, the fan base cares so much, and they've watched them through 2 years now, and there's still 2 years left. So I think that there's a lot of, like, connection there between the players and the fans hearing names.
For sure. And, I mean, we've seen past few days with Notre Dame, they've had quite a few players enter the portal. Olivia Miles, one of the best juniors. Like, that's crazy. Her and Hannah Hidalgo, they were, like, a great duo also, and Olivia Miles is now in the portal. So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just everything's just so fast, so just everything's changing. And
Yeah,
we've still
swift.
got like 3 weeks left of the portal, so there's a lot of things that can still happen on both the men's and women's side. So
Right.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, final thoughts, guys, on everything that's happened in the portal so far?
Very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of anticipation and excitement here, names
Right.
for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll be back with another episode maybe about more transfer portal stuff probably if it happens. So thanks again, and we'll see you later.